Hello everyone, welcome to video number 1. This is going to be a two-part video specifically about the syllabus. You can find the syllabus under the syllabus tab on Blackboard at the top, and you will be able to read all through the syllabus. I just really want to make sure you understand everything that I'm saying. So this is an online class, specifically asynchronous, which means that you do not have to meet at certain times. There are going to be due dates that follow throughout the semester, but we are not necessarily meeting throughout that. These videos are meant to help supplement that, to give you information that I would normally say in the classroom. This is English 102. I am on Canva this semester. It's only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I'm only available for a few hours. I only have one class in person there. So hypothetically, if you did want to meet with me in person, you could just let me know. It's only for a few hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays afternoons, but normally this will be via Microsoft Teams. If you need to talk to me, my cat here, please email me and we can set up a time on Microsoft Teams where we can meet one-on-one. But my office hours are by appointment, and I don't have official office hours here. I have an index on page 1 where you can see everything that's going to be on the syllabus. So if you just come on the syllabus and you're looking for something specific, say you want to figure out, like, if you forget how to submit your essays or you want to look up the attendance policy, you can just look on page 4 and you can scroll down and you can see exactly what page number that's going to be. And so I'm not going to talk too much about this. This is just meant to make the syllabus easy to figure out and to follow through, so you can kind of peruse this at your convenience. I want to have a note about COVID-19. I do expect everybody to do their absolute best to have work prepared for peer reviews and other assignments, to have Complex Book entries submitted on time. I'll talk about that assignment in a bit. But I do recognize that we're still in a pandemic, and that your mental and physical health should always come first. That's very important, and I want to highlight that very early on. So if you aren't able to complete an assignment for whatever reason, just let me know. You don't have to tell me, everything that's going on in your life. Just say you're having a problem. I will say I am a mandated reporter, which means that if any information is provided to me that tells me any type of violence is happening at the moment, I am mandated to report that to the college. So, let me know. I just want to let everybody know that I am a mandatory reporter about that. And so I want to make sure that if you need any help whatsoever, I'm here for you. But I know, even if you get COVID, maybe you're just having a really rough time, I just want to make sure you're still in the class, because I am required through SWIC to say, to provide them attendance records. So when you've, submitted your last assignment, that's going to be how they are kind of showing an online class attendance. And so when are you submitting that? How often are you going to be on Blackboard? I want to make sure that if you're not able to work at a specific time, that you still are able to, you're still in the class, you're still, you're still thinking about being in the class. It's just something came up and you're not able to work on it at this time. Just let me know you're still intending to. If I don't hear from you for too long, I'll email you to check you in. But checking your email is very important. If you do want to meet with me, I'm pretty flexible on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Tuesdays and Thursdays, those are my days where I'm in person, and I'm all over the place. So that doesn't mean I can't meet with you on a Tuesday or Thursday. That just means I'm going to be more likely to find a time that works for both of us if it's a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I only have one. I have a synchronous online class that I meet at 10 o'clock on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and office hours through that college, but I don't really have much. I'm still grading, I'm still working those days, but my schedule is more flexible. So just email me, let me know, I can help you. Course descriptions and goals, we're going to have, all this information is specifically written by SWIC. So no matter whatever English 102 section, you would see the same information. But so these are curriculum goals that we're going to be hitting and talking about and teaching and learning throughout the semester. So a lot of research thinking about academic inquiry, how you should support your language, your ideas with writing, with sources. kind of thinking about pre-writing, drafting, revising, thinking about those strategies still, different research methods, thinking about how to find research through SWIC's database, how do you analyze and evaluate that information, what makes a credible source. So a lot of research this semester. You may have or may not have used research in your English 101 course. It's not as required in English 101, just kind of at the little bit at the end of the semester. We usually require a little bit of research, but most of 102 is research. So we're going to have 2 major essays that are longer this semester, and both of them will require a heavy amount of research, versus that's not necessarily the case in 101. So a lot of research, thinking about inventing, how do you come up with an idea? We'll talk a lot about that. Brainstorming, how do you ask questions? How do you think critically? How do you present your ideas, arrange your ideas, what your style is going to look like? And then, of course, research. And so really thinking about analyzing not only our ideas, coming up with a significant idea, but how do we support that idea with credible research? And how do we show that research to an audience in our essays? Coursework, we're going to have 2 major essays. Normally we would have 3, but this is a shortened semester, only 12 weeks. So we're going to have 2 major essays, but they will be longer. So normally I would have 3 essays in a 16-week semester, and they would kind of increase in length, but we're going to have similar time frame to write both papers than we would in a 16-week course, but they're just going to be significantly longer. So at the very minimum, I think one of the papers might be 5 pages, but they might be a little bit longer than that. So they're going to be, you're going to write the same amount of pages you normally would in the 16-week class. It's just going to be 2 papers, and they're going to be longer. So they will be the largest of your overall grade, but everything else we're doing, and I have here on the coursework, is going to be assigned to help you write those larger papers. So we have Complete Book entries. There were 25 points each, and you're going to rate 10 of them over the course of the semester. And I'll have a separate video talking about Complete Book entries, but basically you will have a reading assigned to you, and it will be on Blackboard, and you will you will find at least 3 quotes that are interesting to you, that stick out to you in some way, that remind you of something. And for each quote, you will write at least 1 paragraph expanding on that quote, not necessarily summarizing, but analyzing. So if there's something that quote reminds you of, if you think about another writing project you've done in the past, or reminds you of a movie or a TV show or a YouTube video, going beyond the quote and engaging with that quote, and in order to really think about how you might annotate and find information. And then you'll also have to cite that source as works cited page in MLA format. And I'll have other videos about MLA format specifically to kind of help you with that. And the goal of the citations is because you will need to know MLA format during this semester to cite your sources that you're going to be writing and sourcing in your paper. And so by doing the Complete Book entries, ideally, even if you have trouble with MLA format, you learn with each citation you do through my comments, and as we go throughout the semester, ideally you improve on how you cite. We also have an annotated bibliography, which will be related to your second larger essay, your argumentative research essay, and that will be really important, basically showing your research that you found for that paper and thinking a little bit more critically of it. And you'll have a portfolio at the end of the semester, which there'll be a separate video later on in the semester about that, but we'll give you the option to revise both of your formal essays for a potentially better grade. That doesn't mean you shouldn't work hard on your essays throughout the semester, but you should have, it's kind of like a do-over. If you didn't do as well on one of the papers, it is a do-over throughout the semester. Also, time management. We're not meeting face-to-face. We're not even meeting online at specific time periods. I've been teaching online for a few years now, but this is my first semester in person since March 2020. So I have a lot of experience with online. And there might be a perception, if some of you are new to online learning, that it might be easier, but it's actually sometimes more time-consuming and sometimes more difficult. So make sure you have a calendar, or you're putting due dates on your phone, that you're keeping track of when assignments are due and starting on them beforehand, because it's really easy to fall behind. I will send weekly reminders every Monday of what's due that week, but you don't want to be blindsided. You want to make sure that you are kind of keeping up with the class if possible. We'll have peer review for each of the 2 papers. For the last paper, we'll probably have 2 peer reviews the last 2 weeks of the semester, and there will be online, of course, but through Office 365 through the college. And the purpose of them is to think about how a reader might be responding to your essay. So how do other people perceive? So you'll have essays from your classmates that you have to comment on, and specific question guides to comment on. There'll be a separate video about peer review, and each peer review will be worth 10 points of your overall grade. And if you would like me to read any or comment on any of your papers, please, personally, please email me your essay at least a week before it's due. That gives me time. I have lots of other classes. At this time, I have 90 students a semester, so just give me time to look at it, and I'll be happy to do so. Blackboard, I will go over that a little bit later, but you will have a specific video section with all the videos. You'll have a week 1 tab where you'll find all the specific information on week 1. I will have a weekend welcome video, which you should have watched by now, that helps kind of understand where everything is. You'll have a specific assignments tab that will be the essays and anything that's not complex book entries. Have a complex book entries tab for those assignments. So there'll be any updates, I will email you and post something to Blackboard. So make sure you're checking both simultaneously, at least once per weekday, which is going to be really important. If the Monday reminders, I will send you via email. I will also put an announcement on Blackboard, which will directly email you. So make sure you're checking those once per weekday, just to make sure you don't miss anything. And then these videos will help supplement, again, anything I don't really have, would normally say in the class. Submitting essays will be on Blackboard. Again, I don't have a visual right now, but you'll be submitting them through Blackboard. If by chance Blackboard doesn't work, feel free to email me, just say something's going on, and I'll be happy to kind of work through that with you. But if you do send them via email, please submit it as a docx, not a PDF. Attendance policy, we don't have official classes that we actually necessarily attend. So peer review will be kind of doing the activities. I'll have weekly reflections. I forgot to put weekly reflections up here. You will have weekly reflections. And I'll have, sorry, my cat's like getting in my way. It's almost his food time. You might see him in a few videos. His name is Toby. And so weekly reflections, I forgot to talk about that during coursework. Those I'll have a separate video on them as well. Those will be due every Friday to kind of reflect on the week, what you've learned, what you kind of want to know coming over. Those are to replace what I used to do, which was comment on 3 complex book entries for each entry of your classmates. And so I'm trying something new this semester with those. But again, I'll have a separate video about that. But attendance policy, you should be, participating in the course, submitting assignments, watching the videos. If you don't, email me that you're, hey, I'm still around, or submitting assignments for, 4 straight weeks. You could hypothetically automatically fail the class. And so 4 weeks out of a 12-week class, that's only a third. Okay, but you still need to be doing that. And I do accept work late, but there will be a time in the semester. Now, I haven't figured out what day it is. It depends kind of how everything's going at the semester, but I will have a date, and I will notify you ahead of time what that date is. It'll probably be sometime in November, where I will not accept late work anymore. So at that point, you have to be able to submit everything, and I will tell you that long before that date comes. But you don't want to have to do a lot of work all at once. I've had students do that before, and it typically doesn't end well. Points are broken down throughout the semester. So complex book entries are going to be, 25 points each. There's 10 of them, so they're 25, 250 points throughout the semester. All of these points are worth 1,000 points. And so everything's like 250 points is worth 25% of your grade. If you don't do any of the complex book entries, that's 25% of your grade. That's kind of the toilet. The exploratory essay, which will be the first major essay, will be worth 25% of your grade. And essay number 2, which will be the argumentative research paper, will be worth 30% of your overall grade. So those are a significant portion of your semester. Annotated bibliography, which will be worth 5%. Weekly reflections worth 10%. They will be. I was trying to figure out the math and I couldn't perfectly. So there's 8.5 points each. So 2 points extra credit earned if all reflections are submitted to earn full credit. And portfolio, which is worth 50 points. And then just in general, 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, and so on and so forth. I'm going to stop this video here, and I'm going to move and kind of finish it, starting with ethical conduct and on page 5, and then I'll also talk about pages 6, 7, and 8 in the next video, which will be video number 1, part B. So please watch that video, pick up where I'm leaving off here.